Hola a todos, ¿cómo están el día de hoy? Espero que se encuentren muy bien. Yo siempre muy feliz y muy agradecida de poder estar con ustedes. Today we're going to learn about the imperative, el imperativo en español. Are you ready? Let's see. So, the first thing that we need to know about the imperative is when we use it. Well, the imperative, as I mentioned it, is a verbal form like the indicative and like the subjunctive, el subjuntivo or el indicativo. And the imperative is a form that we use when we want to give someone instructions and also give command. Now, I know that when I say the word command, some people say, but what do you mean command? When you're telling somebody what to do in a rude way, sometimes confusion, and people ask me a lot about that with imperative. Why is that? Because imperative is a form that does not exist in English. Therefore, it's sometimes hard to understand especially when you try to compare one language with another. That's what, just don't do that. Learn this as a scratch, as something new, if it's the first time that you're listening, and let's learn together what is the imperative. So, again, it's a verbal form that is used for give instructions or give command in Spanish. It have its own conjugation, so it's not going to be the same conjugation of the indicative. But in imperative, you will only conjugate it in the two of the singular and the two of the plural. So basically the two you of the singular and the two you of the plural. Why is that? Because again, if forgive instruction, if forgive commands. So obviously you do that, to another person or to a group of people. So we're gonna start first with a verb ending in ar. We're gonna conjugate it with to, with usted, with vosotros and vosotras, and with ustedes. As you obviously know, or if you don't know, I'll let me say it. To, you singular. Usted, you singular, polite. Vosotros and vosotras, you plural, in an informal way, used only in Spain. Ustedes is the you plural polite in Spain, but in the rest of the Spanish-speaking world, the only way to express you plural is ustedes. And we're gonna learn, of course, all of them. So we're gonna start with our favorite verb, a verb ending in ar, estudiar. So, will be estudia, estudie, estudiad, estudien. Let's move to a verb ending in er. Now, what is your favorite verb? Let's put beber, to drink. So, will be, if it's to, bebe, beba, bebet, beban. Okay? So, por ejemplo, bebe tu café, o tu copa de vino, o tu cerveza. Like, you give it like an instruction, but we're gonna go into that in a minute. Let's end it with ir. So, a verb ending in ir, vivir. So, vive, viva, vivid, vivan. Vive tu vida y sé feliz. Okay? I'm just giving you an advice as well. Then there's another way that you obviously, in this context, you can use the imperative as well. Like, estudia para que seas una mejor persona. Bebe tu café. Vive tu vida para que seas más feliz. Okay? It's like the three different examples with these three different verbs. But now let's see some more examples. Okay? Why I say that you use the imperative for instructions. For example, if I'm walking on the street and somebody asks me, perdona, ¿cómo puedo llegar a la farmacia? So you will tell them, if let's say somebody of your age, or you don't need to use like the usted way, or you just want to use like the two way, you will say, okay, cruza la calle, gira a la derecha, o gira a la izquierda. Okay, so you see, I'm giving a command. No, in this case, I'm giving an instruction. I direct the people how to get to the pharmacy. I do it in a polite way. Okay, when I mean in a polite way, it's not that I use in usted. I use in a two way, but it's not rude for me to use this form, okay? Because it's the way how you give to people instructions. Like, for example, cierra la puerta, por favor. Or cierre la puerta. Why I keep making difference between, for example, cierra and cierre, or like cruza and cruce? Because when we did the conjugation, you remember there was two of the singular and two of the plural. So, and the two of the singular will be tú and usted. The two is never gonna change. That is the informal way to say you. So, in a normal context, we're gonna use tú. But again, depending if it's somebody older or whatever, then you feel that you need to speak in a more polite way, you can use the usted way, no? Instead of say cruza, you will say cruce. And instead of say gira, you will say gire. Okay? Let's move now to another form. Like, for example, when you give a command. When you give command, I don't know about you, but for example, in the school, we all, what all our teachers all the time used to tell to us as a group of people, you know? I'm gonna talk now about the you plural. Estudien, okay? That will be in the ustedes way. Or in the Spanish way, in the vosotros way. Estudiad. So it's a command. Then they tell you, study, estudien para ser mejor, estudien para aprobar el examen, estudien español, okay? So that's a command. Now, it's another ways to give command. For example, if it's somebody older in front of you, or somebody that you just feel, then that person, then you need to be in a polite way, you need to speak in a polite way. You can always say, like, for example, pase primero que yo, okay? Otherwise, just pasa, no? You give me the instruction, pasa, adelante, no? Like, yeah, get in, adelante, come in. But if you want to be polite, pase por favor, no? Or if you're in the queue, like you see somebody older maybe behind you, like, no, pase usted primero, por favor. O pase, por favor, pase primero. It's different ways. Again, both ways are polite. I'm just making the difference for you to understand them. Again, like all the time, depending on the context, you can use the tú or the usted. But the imperative, regardless that, is gonna be used for commands and for instructions. And it's perfectly fine and it's perfectly polite. I keep repeating that because, again, this form does not exist in English. Therefore, sometimes it can be a confusion. I got, we have a page on Facebook and we have a group of study. So sometimes when we're posting some stuff, we were posting some phrases and vocabulary. A lot of people were very confused with some words. Like, for example, like cierra la puerta or cierre la puerta. And they were, why is no cierras la puerta? What? So obviously for these people who like been texting me or like, wondering about why she using another form, why she don't use it. Because when you want to give instructions, you use the imperative, okay? You use this form. Now, another case when we use imperative a lot as well is when we give instructions on the kitchen. For example, if I want to give you a recipe, a food recipe, okay? So you usually gonna do it with imperative, okay? For example, if I want to give you the recipe of my favorite dish, okay? What is ceviche, is our traditional Peruvian dish. And in case I wanted to give you the recipe of that, I will tell you like, compra el pescado, lava el pescado, corta los limones, pica la cebolla, and so on, okay? It's just to give an example. I'm talking as you. I'm not talking as you plural now. I'm talking in case if one person asks me, and I'm just telling them how to make this recipe, how to make this food. I don't know if you heard before about the imperative. I hope that this video was helpful for you. I would love to know on the comments what you think about the video, what you think about the content of the channel, or if you see this on Facebook, or of the page, of our page. And yeah, I hope then you subscribe to our channel, and I hope to see you in our next videos. Ciao, ciao.